welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're strapping into a crossover EV that is generating a pretty astonishing amount of buzz globally.
A huge amount, yeah.
We are talking about the MG Windsor EV.
Which is also known as the cloud EV in a lot of other markets. And it's aimed squarely at, well, disrupting things.
Disrupting is the right word. We've looked at the specs, and I mean, the combination of performance and price is just aggressive enough to stop competitors dead in their tracks.
That's absolutely right. And our sources today give us this really rare three-pronged perspective.
Okay.
So first, we have the official market positioning from JSW MG Motor India, which kind of gives us the branding story.
Oh, why?
Exactly. Then, and this is crucial, we have the detailed, frankly eye-popping specs for the European-bound Pro model.
And the third.
And this might be the most useful bit. We have a long-term, real-world ownership review from a driver who made that classic switch.
From a gas car to an EV.
Yep, a decade-old Skoda Rapid for this brand-new electric crossover.
So our mission for you, the listener, is to unpack the power, the features, and that incredibly aggressive pricing. We want to cut through the noise and answer the big question.
The billion-dollar question.
Can the MG Windsor EV actually succeed in Europe? Can it combine MG's growing reputation for reliability with a style that's clearly European-friendly?
And a value proposition that, nobody else seems to be touching.
Let's dive deep. All right, let's start with the name. In India, it's officially the MG Windsor EV.
Right. It's the third all-electric car from JSW MG.
And it fits sort of neatly between the little Comet EV and the more established ZS EV.
And just so everyone's clear, if you see Cloud EV online, you're looking at the exact same vehicle. It's a CUV, a crossover electric vehicle.
And its whole purpose, according to them, is to hit that sweet spot, right?
Yeah, to bridge that gap between a small city car and a full-sized SUV.
But the marketing choice, the name Windsor, that's fascinating to me, especially with their European ambitions.
It's very, very deliberate.
They didn't just pick a number.
No, they went straight for symbolism. Officials have said the name Windsor was taken directly from the UK's Windsor Castle.
Wow.
It's a branding move. They want to signal a larger-than-life image. Words like royalty and glory were used.
So they're trying to bake in a sense of premiumness and European heritage right from the start.
Trying to shortcut the process, yeah. Linking the car to quality before you've even seen it.
It's a clever psychological play. And the concept they're selling is, well, it sounds like the best of both worlds.
It does. The comfort and high driving position of an SUV, but with the interior space you'd expect from a really big sedan. They're trying to eliminate the usual compromise.
Maximum utility. Roomy enough for a long trip, but not a total nightmare to park in the city.
That's the promise. The big question is whether real-world owners think they've actually pulled it off.
Okay, so moving from the marketing to the actual metal, what does it look like? Does it feel European?
Well, the walkarounds of the International Cloud EV show a pretty sleek, modern design. It's definitely got that crossover profile.
What stands out?
The narrow headlight units look very contemporary, and it's covered in cameras all around.
So a 360-degree view is a priority.
Seems to be, yeah.
Yeah.
And it stands on these 18-inch alloy wheels, which gives it that proper crossover stance.
But the reviews suggest the real story isn't the outside, it's the obsession with what's on the inside.
Oh, absolutely. The interior comfort.
They're not just seats, they're described as furniture.
That's the exact word the owner used, sofa-like.
Sofa-like, I love that.
Yeah, it says so much, right?
Yeah.
And they focus on these little details. A big infotainment screen, ambient lighting, and this feature I love. The front seats fold almost completely flat.
Perfect for taking a nap while you're charging.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that comfort pays off.
Yeah.
The reviewer said he felt no fatigue even after 500 kilometers.
That's a huge claim.
And he credited the high seating and the rear seats. And here's the best part, the detail that tells you everything.
Go on.
The reclinable rear seats apparently reduced his family's fights for the front seat.
Okay, that's a 5-star review right there. That's real-world family friendliness.
It is. But that space and comfort, it does come with a trade-off. The owner was really clear about this.
It's a big car.
It's wide. He said the width is similar to much larger vehicles, like an Innova Hi-Cross.
So if you're coming from a compact car, that could be a bit of a shock.
A big shock. His advice was, you have to be prepared to learn parking and maneuvering in tight spaces all over again.
And what about that high seating position?
He had a great way of describing it. He said it felt like you're on an elephant.
That's brilliant. It captures that great view, but also the sheer bulk you have to manage.
Exactly. It's a substantial vehicle, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
So we have this large, comfortable CUV. It's got this premium aspirational branding. But the big question for you, the listener, is can it actually compete in Europe?
Right. Can it challenge the established giants on their home turf? It needs the performance and, crucially, the right price.
And it has both. We can now confirm the MG Windsor EV is definitely coming to the European market.
Not just speculation, it's happening.
It's the plan. Specifically, the Windsor EV Pro 2025 version. And the pricing. Well, this is where the whole story just flips on its head.
Okay, give us the number that's going to make Volkswagen and Renault sweat.
For the Pro model, the indicative starting price is stated as $14,790 a year.
I'm sorry, what? 14,000.
14,790 euros. That's about $17,000 USD. For a modern EV crossover of this size, that price is, it's almost unbelievable.
That's an entry-level hatchback price for what the specs claim is a high-performance vehicle.
Exactly. Because this isn't some slow city car. We're talking dual electric motors.
Pushing out how much power?
A monumental 400 horsepower and 516 pound-feet of torque.
400 horsepower in a family crossover. That's sports car territory.
It is. Those numbers get this thing from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in just 4.5 seconds.
Which is faster than the vast majority of premium gasoline cars on the road.
It's a fascinating strategy, isn't it? To combine that budget price with such absurdly high performance, it almost feels like they're flexing.
Well, it completely kills the argument that a cheap EV has to be a slow EV.
It demolishes it. They're making sure performance is not the compromise. And on top of that, they're promising a solid range, listed at over 300 miles for the Pro.
And they back it all up with a serious warranty.
The security blanket, yeah. A 5-year, 60,000-mile vehicle warranty, and more importantly, an 8-year, 100,000-mile warranty on the battery.
That shows real faith in the core technology, and it massively lowers the risk for anyone thinking of making the switch.
Okay, so now let's get into the trenches. The 2,200-kilometer review. This is so valuable because it's from someone who just switched from an internal combustion engine.
And the financial side is it's the most striking part.
It's a huge shift.
His old car cost him between 12 and 15,000 rupees a month in petrol.
Which is a significant expense.
And with the Windsor, thanks to some smart, often free charging, that cost dropped to almost nothing.
And that just proves the financial logic of EV ownership if you can change your habits.
But the review also provides a really important reality check on range.
Yes, an essential EV lesson. So for the base Windsor, the 38 kilowatt model, the range really fluctuates.
How so?
In sub-star city traffic, bumper to bumper, he was getting a steady 260 kilometers.
Okay, that's decent.
But on the highway, doing 120 kilometers per hour, full car with 4 people and luggage, the range dropped a lot.
Down to
only 220, 230 kilometers.
And that's the thing that always confuses new EV owners, right? City driving is actually more efficient.
It is because of regenerative braking. Every time you slow down on the city, you're putting a little bit of energy back into the battery. On the highway, it's just constant power drain against wind resistance.
So the Pro version, with its bigger battery, should be much better.
Way better. The expectation is 280, 300 plus kilometers, even in harsh highway conditions, and maybe 370 or more in gentle city driving.
What about the little things, the tech quirks and irritations that every new car has?
The owner mentioned a few, and they're all about learning patience. The wireless charging pad, for example, is very slow.
So you end up using a cable anyway.
Most likely. And CarPlay sometimes bugs out, skipping songs or making a buzzing sound.
Minor stuff, but can be annoying.
For sure. But he did appreciate that the important things, AC temp, fan speed, hazard lights, they're still physical buttons.
That's a huge plus.
It is. But the drive modes, like Eco or Sport, are screen only, which takes a bit more focus to change.
And there was a weird sound issue, too.
A minor thing,
Yeah.
a buzzing from the fan that cools the battery. The service center said it's common in EVs, but it's just one of those new sounds an ICE driver isn't used to.
So when you put the whole package together, the comfort, the insane performance, the financial savings, where does the Windsor Pro actually stack up?
Well, the review came to a very bold conclusion.
Which was?
That at its expected price point, it has no real competition.
No real competition. In the most crowded part of the auto market, how is that even possible?
You'd assume they cut corners, right? Maybe on safety or features.
But the spec sheet says the exact opposite. They seem to be loading it up.
They are. High-end features at a budget price, the 360-degree camera, all that tech, and ADS Level 2.
Okay, for anyone listening, what does ADS Level 2 actually mean for the driver?
It means the car has partial automation, so it can manage both steering and your speed, your acceleration and braking in certain situations.
Like adaptive cruise control on the highway with lane keeping.
Exactly. It's a huge feature to include in a car that's supposed to start under 15,000 euros.
So let's contrast that. What are the competitors mentioned?
Well, you look at popular gas-powered CUVs like the Creta or Seltos, they often cost the same, or even more, but they lack that full ADAS suite and, of course, the low running costs.
And on the EV side?
Other EVs in that price bracket, like the Punch or Nexon EV, get criticized by owners for being cramped, using older tech, or having service issues.
So for a pragmatic buyer, the choice seems pretty clear. The Windsor Pro offers this unbeatable mix of tech, space, and near-zero running costs.
If you're willing to adapt to the EV driving style and put up with a few minor tech bugs,
It seems like an incredible value proposition.
it really is.
Yeah.
So if we bring it all back to that core question, MG is marrying that symbolic British name with 400 horsepower and a stated starting price of 14,790 days for the Pro. It's not just competitive.
It's disruptive.
It could be massively disruptive for established European brands that charge way more for way less power and fewer features.
Which leaves a really important question for you, the listener, especially if you're watching the European market. Given that this car is confirmed for Europe at this price, will buyers who have decades of loyalty to brands like VW or Peugeot finally prioritize this incredible future-to-cost ratio over pure brand allegiance?
That kind of pressure could force a massive and very rapid price correction across the entire mid-range EV market in Europe. It's a real test of value versus heritage.
A shift that could redefine the whole segment way sooner than anyone thought. We appreciate you diving deep with us today. If you enjoyed this analysis and want more shortcuts to becoming well-informed, make sure you follow the channel and share this deep dive with a friend.